So you've taken your harmony director out of the box, you've got it plugged in, you've attached it to your speaker system, and you're ready to turn it on and see what happens. So we use the power button here. We watch as the screen lights up. And so immediately we see in the screen several things that are telling us specific information about how the keyboard is set up at this point. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see which instrument we're set to. And you can change this easy by just hitting the voice button and then using the wheel to adjust to the instrument that you would like to use. In this case, we're going to keep it set to brass. Also in this window, it tells you what we're set to as far as hertz. So we're set at 440 hertz. If you like it a little bit higher, a little bit lower, obviously you can adjust that. The most important thing you see at this point is where we are set as far as the temperament. So we're in equal C major. We'll also notice that at this point the transposition is set to C as well, so there is no transposition at this time. Towards the left-hand side, a very important button down here, or slider down here, is the octave slider. So this is showing you, because obviously the keyboard is not a full set of keys, you can adjust what part of the octave that we're set at. So from the low, then changing it to low 2, which just brings it up, to mid, to high. I've found in most situations, low 2 is the most acceptable in terms of creating resonant drones in the low to medium range. Okay? You'll also notice a hold button. So at this point, we can use the hold button to hold down a drone as we're doing an exercise. So if you're spending 3 to 4 minutes on F concerts trying to get them to blend and balance and be in tune, you can just press the hold button, play 2 octaves of drone, leave it, and then start the rehearsal on your own. So you can have the drone happening the entire time without having to have your hands on. Again, just to stop the drone, we'll just press the hold button again. Okay? Now, one of the most powerful aspects of the harmony director is the temperament. So you can see up in the corner here, right next to the screen, we're currently set for equal. Also next to it is pure. So this is where you get into the true power of the keyboard itself. Most of the time, you will want to be set in pure temperament, and mainly because you're using this as a harmonic tool. So at this point, you notice that it's showing us in pure C major. All you need to do to change the temperament and this tonic of the temperament is play the major chord of the key you're in, or the minor chord of the key you're in. So if you're working on a concert band piece on this particular day that's set in the key of E flat, all you need to do is press an E flat major triad, and the entire keyboard has shifted itself away from one tonal center into another. If you play the scale now at this point in the key of E flat, you can hear that every part of the scale, every scale degree, is being adjusted based on pure temperament. So if we go back to equal, you'll hear a difference between the two. And go back to pure. Same thing with minor. If I play an F minor triad, now the entire keyboard is set to the key of F minor. So again, if you listen to the scale versus equal temperament, slight difference, but important differences, especially when you're trying to depict to students how the difference between the two temperaments, equal and pure, affect chord structure. So as we get started, if you're playing something that's basically chromatic, equal temperament works best. If you're playing something that is based in triads, pure temperament works best. In this segment, we're going to look at some of the other aspects of the keyboard that can be very helpful in a rehearsal situation. One that I find particularly helpful are the transpose buttons here on the left side. So you can see we have C, B flat, E flat, and F, obviously connecting to the instruments that play in those keys. So if you're in a situation where you are doing a sectional with the trumpets, you can very simply press the B flat, and now everything, the entire keyboard has been shifted down to transpose along with the trumpet, including the triad itself. So if I play an F major triad, it's showing it as E flat, reminding you that we're in the key of E flat, but we're transposing for the trumpet. So F minor, although I played a G minor triad. In the same way, as you're playing off of the score now, if you're a slow transposer, you can just play literally what the trumpets have, and it'll be transposing it into concert pitch. So even though I've played in the key of G minor, it's been transposed to the key of F minor. So that could be very, very helpful. But always remember as you move back to full ensemble to hit it back to C, because that can be a problem. The other thing that this is allowing you to do as well, as we look at equal and pure, is you can actually set individual pitches as well. So if we go to the individual pitch button, the first screen you see with all those zeros is the volume of each individual note. So we're in C major. All of the notes currently are being played at the same volume. If you're playing a C major triad, though, and you want to show the concept of how the third should be slightly softer than the other notes, you can use the cursor to come across to where the E is, and then by using the wheel, just bring the volume down. So now as we listen to the triad, the E has been brought down out of the mix. We'll bring that back to 0. If I press that again, now you're seeing the temperament. So at this point, since we're in user C major, every note is being played at equal temperament. You can change that by simply moving over, and we're going to change the fifth to +2. So this makes a perfect fifth with the slight adjustment of the fifth. And then the other thing we want to change here to make the major triad sound correct is adjusting the third. So in general, the third is going to be adjusted down 13.7 cents in a major triad to make it sound correct. An interesting exercise you can do with students is we'll move the cursor over to the E, have them close their eyes and listen to the triad. And so as I play it now, it's going to sound very much not at rest. You can hear, even through the video, lots of beats. And then by taking the wheel, gradually adjust it down. And as they're closing their eyes, they raise their hand when they hear it come to rest. So as we move it down, we get to 13.7, we now have the chord perfectly tuned for how we want it to sound, allowing them to not necessarily look at something that tells them what the pitch is by having to use their ear to guide them. They actually create much better listening skills.